It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is What Made the Cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And this portion of the show brought to you by an incredible selection of Kia, Subaru, Chevy, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram, and now Mitsubishi in the family of dealerships in the Doug Smith dealers. And, of course, we love the folks at Doug Smith. And joining us on the program right now, he is Big T, Thurl Bailey. Big T, what's going on? What's the best sports month? We're still trying to figure this thing out.
The best sports month?
Yes. Is it March? I know you have an affinity for March, of course, but we're just talking about, for me, I'm a college football and NFL guy. I love that. October is when the NBA's firing up its season. NHL now, of course, which we love here locally. College football, NFL, all those things, which I love. But Sly makes an argument for the end of the college basketball
season. Sports nerds,
season.
Thurl. Sports nerds. I don't know if you're biased here.
He claims April's big time. But listen, normally if you're making a push in the NBA playoffs, then yes. But, this year's a little bit different for Jazz fans.
It is. But if you're an NBA fan, it's still, I'm still going to watch the playoffs, right? I mean, that's when a lot of teams really start to ratchet up. But I'm still a college basketball guy, bro. I mean, I just think, this time of the year, we don't get that underdog this year because they're all number one seeds. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I still think college basketball, and I got to go before April because,
he likes the lead up.
I like the lead up, Sly. I really do. And, you put your brackets together and you watch the games. And so, yeah, I still like the college basketball lead up going into their postseason tournaments and then the NCAA tournament.
So I'll vote for March. See, and March was high on the list, too.
That was my second.
March was high on the list, too. Big T, this Jazz team, of course, last night was a rough one. I mean, that was – you give up 140 points, and you have two teams that are heading in a totally different direction for where their teams are at right now. And this Houston Rockets team has become something else this year. I did not have Houston pegged for winning 50 games this year. We knew they were going to be much improved, but are they a team that have shocked even the experts like you guys who get to watch the NBA every night?
Yeah, I think somewhat of a shock. Yeah, I mean, I just think that they've really started to peak at the right time. They've got some really good pieces, really good young pieces, really good pieces, coming off the bench. But I know personally I didn't really expect them to make this kind of jump.
Right.
And, the question with them now is, how far can they take it? Can they really get past the first round, even with a home court advantage? But they're talented, man. I mean, Şengün is like, he's kind of like a mini Jokic almost with his fundamental skills in the paint, and they've got a nice combination with Green. I mean, they're talented. They are talented. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit of like eyebrow raising, like how the heck did they get there? But they've got some nice pieces.
Where did this game last night get out of hand? I know, the game started off, in the first quarter, right? But that second quarter kind of like what was it last night? Because I'm a Lakers guy, so I watched the Rockets-Lakers earlier in the week, and you get to a 38-point win here last night. Like, where did he get out of hand for the Jazz last night?
Well, I can always do without you letting us know.
I was going to say,
hey, I'm going to make it known. I'm proud. I'm loud and proud, baby.
I can definitely do without that. But, yeah, I think you've got to give Houston's defense some credit. The only thing offensively I thought that we had going was the backcourt, the guards, Colin Sexton, Isaiah Collier. They were getting past guys downhill and getting to the rim, and some of those turn into kick-out buckets. But just when the Jazz do well, you can look at the stat sheet kind of early on in that third quarter and see that there's, 5, sometimes 6 guys who are in double figures or close. And I thought the Jazz did a great job of taking care of the ball, but it was just the inability to really stop them from what they were doing. And then get other guys involved in the scoring, and try to earn some buckets off of turnovers. So sometimes, a bunch of times this year, the Jazz have been in games, but ultimately, the other teams have just been more consistent, down the stretch. And a lot of times that's synonymous with what you get with a young team. Mm-hmm. And so, I thought it got out of hand in that early in that second half.
Cody Williams gets ill at this last end of the season here, and it's a rookie season that I think a lot of people are looking at and going, I think Big T, it's interesting because it's a rookie season. Like, I think it's exactly what it was. There's so much that guys have to learn and try to figure out in these first year or two of being in the league. And if you're a high draft choice, then a lot of people have their own versions of what your first couple of years need to look like. But they're shutting him down. He's ill, and you go, look, let's pack this thing in. How do you make sure a guy like Cody Williams, knows that the development thing is a longer process than just people saying, hey, you should get out there and start scoring a bunch and figuring things out in the NBA? This is a hard freaking league.
Well, first of all, turn your social media off.
No, yeah, got to do that.
Don't be reading that stuff. Don't be looking at other people's expectations for you. Mm-hmm. It's a tough league. It's a tough league for anybody. And then, there's some players who come in with, something that they can work from. I mean, Isaiah Collier came in with speed. Mm-hmm. He came in with power. And he's learned to get better at both of those and how to control it. I came into this league 6'11", about 199. Almost 200. And I had to learn really quick, especially the type of ball we were playing back then, that it was going to be a physical league. Now, I may not necessarily have that physicality to match other guys, but I had something. I had finesse, I had speed, and so I had to use that to my advantage, but learn how to adjust. And so it's difficult. And I think you have to go through it, right? You have to go through it to understand how difficult and how long it is and what a grind it is sometimes coming into this league, first-round pick or not. It is a growing up period. So it's been a tough year, for Cody, but I think he's going to be the better for it because this summer is really when he's really has to make a jump. He really has to pick two or three things that he's going to work on, whether it's his body, whether it's his three-point shot, whether it's his lateral movement for defense. So don't try to go in the summer with 10 things. Coach Will Hardy said this best, I think, a couple of years ago when he talked about exit interviews. Just bring me two or three things. And so I expect to see him around during the summer, just getting what he needs, maybe even the summer league, and just putting the work in.
Man, you were talking about Isaiah Collier a little bit earlier, and you got a unique perspective. You've seen John Stockton's, rookie year, and of course, him being the NBA's all-time leading assist guy. And what could you say from your perspective of watching Isaiah this year and John back then, and how special it was to break that rookie record?
It's very special. Very, very special for a guy like Isaiah to come and do that. And first of all, he came in with goals. Mm-hmm. And I think one of his goals was, he wanted to really show that he could be really good at something. So he talked about, the fact that he read up on John and he looked at his records and all the things that he accomplished. And boy, how cool would it be to be on a list that John Stockton's on? So first, you got to be a goal setter, and I think at his position at the purest of point guards in this league, I think he's on the right track. And so when you are on a list, or when you break a record that John Stockton set, especially at a young age,
right?
Because I was communicating with John the other day, and John didn't start a lot, or I have to look it up, or almost at all his rookie season. Ricky Green,
Yep.
Had that job, and John was the sponge. So, for Isaiah to be able to do that is a great feat and a great honor for him. But the work's just begun, right? I mean, that might be the only assist record that you'll break that John Stockton has.
Right.
But be proud of it, but work towards, keep that goal in mind. If you want to be the best, you got to, success leaves clues, and you got to be able to improve every single year. And I'm really proud of Isaiah and the way he's put in the work.
With how the game has changed, when you watch a guy like Isaiah Collier come in and make that, that transition, and he's done well this year to kind of just find a space for himself. You said he brought in goals, and all these guys have been the best at every level they've ever been at, and then you get to the NBA, and that's a hard transition to make. So now what's the next step for a guy like him, for a guy like Flip? Also, we already chatted about Cody Williams, but, I mean, these guys who are on a young team with expectations of a team that they are going to grow into something that is going to take a minute to develop, but when it does, it's going to hit. Yeah,
it's a tough task when you've been sort of given the reins early, right? And the blueprint is that they're trying to build a nucleus here with young players, and so if you're one of those guys that you just talked about, I mean, you've got to be willing to be coachable at all times. You may not like it. You may not like all the decisions. You may not like the DNPs or being sent, I'd say, laterally to the G League, because it's not really a punishment, right? It's development. And so, I think when you sit down in a week or two, your exit interview, and you talk about the things that you're going to be working on this summer and what you need to do to kind of get to that next level and be a different player, be a more impactful player, just trying to figure out what those things are. And you look at, how your season just went. You've got to plan. It doesn't just happen. So you've got to set some goals, and you don't have to try to do it by yourself. And that's the beauty of having such a great coaching staff, is that they're at your disposal. And so it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see how these young players come back and how there's a noticeable difference in approach now that rookie season's over.
And I see you as a big foundational guy, right? So kind of understanding these developmental years Utah's going through. But here, coming up in this offseason, there's going to be so much riding on, the NBA draft lottery and all these different things. So being that foundational guy that I think you are, what can, young guys really get out of these developmental experience years? What can you see? What is the thing that I know that I got something out of this? It's benefit. I know we've seen a lot of guys get, good playing time, and they got good hot streaks. But, how do you know that you can take that and it's going to be great going forward?
Well, that's a great question, Sly. I think, first of all, it's one thing to make it to this level. Mm-hmm. But after that, the question is, how do I stay? Right? I mean, how do I build on this? And there's no shame in saying, look, I want a big contract. How do I get it? And what do I need to do? Because there's always guys coming after your job. There's always, new players that they're looking at. There's always players from other teams. The teams are always looking to make deals. So you're always on the stage. And so you've got to treat this like a business.
Right.
You really do. You're the asset. And, I had to learn that. Coming into this league. And so trades happen, bad games happen, you getting benched happens. I think that's what you really learn off the top, is that, I've got this asset. I've been drafted into this league. I've got all these things at my disposal that can help make me a better player. And how am I going to continue to achieve that. So I don't just make it that I'm stable. Everybody knows who I am. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it takes a minute. I don't care how good you are coming into this league. It takes a while to really grasp all of that and understand what you need to do as the asset to help get your team to the top of the mountain.
Big T, Thurl Bailey joining us here. This Utah Jazz team, handful of more games here in the regular season, and then it's the offseason where obviously a lot is going to be paid attention to this team in the offseason as well. And, you know, I think we're all invested in this, not just as a community and you know, Jazz fans and people who've watched this team and see what they've gone through over the last 18 months, 2 years, and then see that there's a lot more development still to come. I think people have extremely high hopes, and this is going to be a fun offseason here. Big T, Thurl Bailey. Big T, let's chat a little bit about one of the events that is near and dear to your heart, which is getting kids out playing some hoops. JamFestUtah.com. We've chatted with you a little bit about this, but tell us a little bit about what the startup of JamFest has been for you, and why it's such a big deal that you're going to get, you know, a few thousand kids involved in this thing, and not just kids, but some prize money. I told you already that I'm going to be at the pool party regardless of if I can get invited or not. So, so tell me a little bit about JamFest Utah.
Well, it started a couple of years ago. Actually started way before that. I put on a 3-on-3 tournament downtown almost 20 years ago, and it was such a good community event. And then, you know, as always, life kind of got busy, but outdoor 3-on-3 basketball has always been huge for me anyway. I just think it's something that continues to bring the community together. And so almost 3 years ago, I got together with a really good friend of mine, Chris Coates, and we just came up with the idea to start it again grassroots right near where I live in Lehigh. And it's just growing like wildfire now. We expect over 200 teams, so over 600, 700 players, and then we call it Jam Fest because it's part festival, right? Because there's other things to do if you're not playing basketball. There's bounce houses, there's contests and things like that. So we expect over 3,000 or so spectators as well. And a lot of the young players had never really experienced street ball before, outdoor street ball, and their parents and grandparents had to tell them about it. But it's just a fun event that you can look forward to in the community and continues to grow. And it's June 6th and 7th. We had it in August the last couple years. It got so big that we changed it to 2 days. So it's this summer, June 6th and 7th, Lehigh Family Park. It's a great venue, and you can find out all information on jamfestutah.com. But all ages, man, all ages, and it's just a fun festival evening and morning and just a great couple of days.
It's just easy enough to find, jamfestutah.com. Find a place on there. If you've got a team, get them together, get registered. There's prize money. There is, just like Big T said, it's not just a basketball tournament. It's more than that. It's become a festival. So go down there, be a part of it, be a part of the community, and like I said, play some outdoor hoops. It's hilarious to try to tell somebody, yeah, that's a thing. People used to go outside and play these 3-on-3
blown away.
tournaments.
He said that. I'm blown away. I'm like, people
Big
really?
T, it's like, I love how he said,
that was my life.
parents, grandparents, and Sly had to explain it to the kids of the community.
I got an old soul, man. I got an old soul.
Well, we appreciate it as usual. It's just jamfestutah.com to find out more how you can participate. And it's earlier than it's been in years past. So jump in, get the registration going, and then take your team down there and show everybody what you got. Big T, thanks for chatting with us, man. We'll I think we're going to end up wrapping things up with the season next week, in the next couple of weeks here with you. So we'll look forward to that, and thanks for hanging out with us as usual.
All right. Thank you, guys.
There you go. Big T, Thurl Bailey.